Welcome to SVG-TV News for Wednesday, October 3rd, 2018. I am Rochelle Batiste with the details. SVG is boosting its staff at the UN mission as part of a campaign to become a non-permanent member of the UN Security Council. So said Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves during a media conference yesterday, called to brief the nation on his visit to the USA, including attending the 73rd UN General Assembly. PM Gonsalves said 6 Vincentians were added to the staff of the mission.
Who studied international relations and who's been in Moscow for 5 years, and so he's fluent in Russian. We have somebody who studied in Latin America, in Venezuela, and she is fluent in Spanish. Of course, you have other persons who speak Spanish and French on the staff, and someone is also on the staff who has a working knowledge of Mandarin.
Rodner King, this country's ambassador to Washington and permanent representative to the United Nations, was elected as president of the UN Economic and Social Council in July. PM Gonsalves, who praised her work at the mission, said being an ambassador for SVG makes it easier to make representation within that organization. He also pointed out that being on the UN Security Council will raise the profile of St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
You're on the Security Council. People are attracted to you. You get, so who's this place? You know, just the profile alone increases, and you know the profile, when it increases, there are many benefits which could be attached to that. But that's not the primary reason where you go. You go as part of the international community, the regional community, to represent views where you can add a voice which could perhaps assist in having a resolution of a problem peacefully.
At a wide-ranging address to the UN General Assembly, PM Gonsalves spoke on the uniqueness of small island states, which he explained he will continue to address at other forums, including a book which he intends to write about this matter. While at the UN meeting, the PM attended 18 bilateral meetings and also signed a visa waiver agreement with Russia. Noting its importance, Dr. Gonsalves announced that he was considering also removing Nigeria from the waiver.
Visas to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, I'll repeat again, are the following: Afghanistan, Iran, Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, Nigeria, and Dominican Republic. And I told the cabinet I will come to them. I'm thinking of removing Nigeria, given the number of students which we are having coming in from Nigeria now to our medical colleges. And Nigeria is there because of some particular historical issue with some individuals who have been involved in some scam.
The Prime Minister said he has received an invitation to visit Ghana and several other African countries, which he intends to accept. Minister of Finance Camilo Gonsalves has said that he expects a smooth rollout of the climate change levy. The levy, which came into effect on Monday, October 1st, adds a $3 per night charge on rooms at hotels and guest houses. The money is intended to go into a fund to be used in the wake of a natural disaster. The SVG Hotel and Tourism Association has asked for the levy to be scrapped or to have its implementation delayed until January 2019. Speaking at a news conference on Monday, Minister Gonsalves said while new taxes have some hiccups, he anticipates the implementation of the levy will be smooth.
There were other letters that were exchanged thereafter and meetings that were held, and I think that the association and the ministry understand each other. Mr. Pompey at Inland Revenue is confident that going forward this will be a smooth rollout. Look, in the first year of any tax, there may be a little teething issue here and there, a little hiccup here and there, but we don't resolve those until we get started. So I anticipate a smooth rollout. The tourist season has not yet begun in earnest. I think the hotels will be able to, put it on their bill as a line item, update their websites and all the rest of what they have to do. I think Inland Revenue is ready on the back end to know how to collect this money. So on paper, everything looks good, everything looks smooth, but I don't doubt that there'll be a hiccup here and there. But we'll sort them out as we go forward.
The finance minister said there is one issue which is left to be resolved, that being having the levy applied to rooms and Airbnb. He said so far 86 hotels are registered by the Inland Revenue Department for the levy, but there are more than 600 rooms from privately owned apartments and villas on Airbnb which escape the tax net, and this is an unfair situation which must be remedied.
I think that the hoteliers have a legitimate point that if there are 634 rooms out there listed for rent in St. Vincent and the Grenadines at an average of almost $150 US, they should be asked to pay their fair share. So I've given the necessary instructions to the Inland Revenue Department, and they are in touch with Airbnb itself. And what we're going to do is get Airbnb to apply the taxes on their end, so that we can collect them. 634 rooms, $150 a night. If you have 25% occupancy, that's over $8 million in revenue. It's not an insignificant amount of money. And so we are currently negotiating with Airbnb itself about how they can apply the taxes. There's some little complications that we have to sort out, but that is the direction we're going in that regard.
Minister Gonzalez said the intention is to level the playing field by ensuring that all pay their fair share of taxes. He said the entrepreneurial spirit of Vincentians must be applauded, which also benefits the tourism sector.
We're getting a lot of new visitors to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Some of them don't want to stay in a hotel. They want to stay in an inn, in somebody's house, in something that feels cozy. And I applaud the entrepreneurs that have made their homes available and taken advantage of it. So I don't see it as a threat at all. In fact, when we're having conversations with airlines and they ask us, how many rooms do you have? Of course, we tell them the formal numbers, how many hotel rooms we have, but we say, in addition, there's an entire sector there of Airbnb and people who rent their villas and so on. That's another 600 rooms. And so you should take that into account when you're thinking of the room stock in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So we don't see it as a threat, but the only threatening aspect really is that if there's one class of accommodation provider that's not paying taxes or not paying the required fees, and there's another class that is, and that is not fair to the people who are paying. So we're trying to level that playing field. But Airbnb as technology, as entrepreneurship, I don't see it as a threat.
In other news, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves has confirmed that the resort at Bucumant will not reopen in December as he had hoped. He made this announcement at a news conference yesterday and noted his disappointment with this state of affairs.
It's clear now that even if they complete within the next couple of weeks, which they keep putting back these deadlines, that the place would not be opened for December. Remember, I had said in the Parliament that I'd be disappointed if it were not open for December, and I'm disappointed.
The Prime Minister said that even though the legal work is moving slowly, he is confident that they will get through, hence government does not need to intervene.
The younger guys in the cabinet wanted me to take it early, you know. But I outlined to them that it is in the circumstances, better we let it go through this process, and then we see. I always say that if it needs be, I will come in. The state will come in. But it seems as though they're sorting out the difficulties.
There is a wealth of opportunities for persons in the creative industry within the region and internationally. So said the director of Accolade, Bernard Joseph, as he spoke at a news conference today ahead of their next activity to honor Vincentian musical icon Frankie McIntosh. Accolade is an organization which recognizes the work of persons in the creative industry, particularly music, and Judy Boucher was their last honoree. McIntosh has a rich history in the music industry, creating works alongside great local and regional calypsonians and soca artists. Joseph credits him as being a pioneer in the Parang soca genre.
It must be noted, because right now, Parang soca, as it's called, is popular around the Christmas season. Frankie McIntosh did the first one. Here is the first one. Give him a hand. Right. Accolade, as Mr. Tanner said, when he came to me with the idea, and I was going around in terms of representing the CSI in the creative industries, including Trinidad and Tobago. And one of the challenges is how do we take advantage of the cultural protocol, which was part of the EP agreement.
The U.S. Peace Corps volunteers have returned to serve in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. This was made known to the media yesterday by Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves at a news conference. The 23 Peace Corps volunteers were abruptly airlifted to St. Lucia in August after one of them, a 70-year-old, claimed to have been assaulted by two males on August 20th. PM Gonsalves said their return has underscored his point that their departure had nothing to do with crime in SVG, but rather a security concern over a specific incident.
I'm pleased that those who have the responsibility to determine how they will deploy the Peace Corps, that they think it is perfectly in order to have them sent back to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. When the Peace Corps volunteers left, sometimes we have amnesia with a problem. The immediate thing, but you see, the crime is so terrible in this place, the Peace Corps had to leave. The Peace Corps officer, the relevant officials in the embassy had said they have left to go to St. Lucia, but they were concerned about a specific security incident.
The Prime Minister said as far as he is aware, no one was arrested or charged in connection with the alleged incident. He added that the two alleged attackers remain persons of interest to the police.
Those persons in relation to the sketch, that there were persons of interest because that is what was submitted to the police. And the second thing is that no one matching those descriptions that has been reported to me has been located or apprehended. No, I am not going to say, the last question was framed, that whether those sketches are in any way reflective of any real persons.
Children in SVG who have urological problems will get the opportunity to be evaluated by a team under the World Pediatric Project. The assessments are expected to be conducted in collaboration with the Ministry of Health from October 13 to the 20th. The World Pediatric Project offers critical pediatric care to children of the Eastern Caribbean and has been actively working in St. Vincent and the Grenadines since 2002. At the last mission in September 2017, 56 children were evaluated, 20 of those were regional patients, and 15 surgical interventions were done. The mission will be led by Dr. Douglas Copeland, who led his first WPP international team to SVG last September. In addition to doctors, the mission will also be supported by nurses and other medical professionals who will operate from the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital. Parents and guardians of children who may need to be assessed are asked to contact the WPP Project Office at telephone number 4512989 or 4942751 for more information. The Arnoldville Sports Complex is well known for facilitating sporting, cultural, and other activities. However, thanks to the artistic work of Shanique Stewart, it now provides inspiration to those wishing to live a healthier lifestyle. SVGTV's Barvin Oliver tells us more in this report.
Healthy eating is necessary for an active and productive lifestyle, and one artist is using her talents to paint a friendly reminder. Using her paintbrush and woodwork, Shanique Stewart created paintings and 3D murals on the walls of the Arnoldville Sports Complex, which promote the message of healthy eating. She explained that she combined well-known characters with the local culture to tell a story.
Well, first of all, I wanted to go back to the time when I actually started my business and dealing with cartoon characters and so with the preschools, and I realized that our country gravitates to mainstream characters, and because I'm also into positive changes and so forth, I wanted to incorporate what they already love and know and mix it in with our culture so that at least I can promote the message and they get that message. Basically about eating healthy, using our local produce and also changing our diet so that we can function properly. And the area that I chose is because eating is very important in terms of for sports persons. You know, your diet, what you eat, can help you in terms of how you perform in your sports areas.
Stewart produced similar works of art on the walls of Victoria Park and the pediatric wall of the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital and a float at the cruise ship terminal. She said she hopes that her work can inspire other unique works of art and create positive change in the nation.
I'm trying to do things that are different. That's why you see the three-dimensional effect. And I'm so happy that people like the CDC especially, and Subway has allowed me to do this, try something different instead of the normal. Not that there's anything wrong with the tradition, we need the fundamentals. And the persons who have brought the art form this far, we have to appreciate what they did. But for now, for my generation, I'm hoping that there are more persons hoping to be different. And I hope that this is a start to inspire someone.
The young artist said St. Vincent and the Grenadines is a perfect canvas, and she is willing to work with others to create works of art which carry a positive message. For SVG-TV Evening News, I am Barvin Oliver.
The police have said that they are investigating a report of attempted murder of 23-year-old bank teller of Otley Hall. According to a release issued today, the police said some unknown persons shot the bank teller on his right hand at Queens Drive on Saturday, September 29th. The police are also investigating a report of robbery and wounded made by a 23-year-old security officer of Camden Park against some unknown person or persons. Reports indicated that on Sunday, September 30th at Camden Park, the security officer was robbed at knife point of his cell phone and $300 EC. The security officer struck on his forehead and receive a cut on his right wrist. The police are asking that anyone who has information regarding these incidents to contact them at telephone numbers 4561339 or 4561810.